absolutely recognize those triggers that can put you in a state of defeatism. You got to be sensitive. You got to be consciously aware of what you're thinking and how you're feeling when you're around other people, when you're by yourself, during these holidays. I imagine that there are a lot of people during these holidays that feel really lonely. They feel really depressed. They feel sorry for themselves. And they're getting themselves in a state where eventually they're going to regret later on, because they don't understand the triggers. They don't understand human nature. They're not aware. They're not consciously aware of what's going on. This is Santos Rolon Jr. having a self-talk, a motivational talk. And you have to absolutely be strong. There's nothing wrong in being weak at times. There's nothing wrong in feeling a little bit lethargic or feeling a little low. There's nothing wrong with that. What's wrong, the problem comes in, is when you go beyond that door that seems to be opening a little bit, but you recognize it. And you begin to tell yourself that you're not going to feel sorry for yourself. You begin to tell yourself that you're not going to beat yourself up. You're not going to think thoughts of inadequacy. You got to get away. There's nothing wrong with negativity. In this world, you got to have the negative and you got to have the positive. But when you allow yourself to go into that state that is beyond that door, when that door begins to open and that door begins to show you something, you don't want to let that door fully open, because then you're on the other side, then you're on the inside, and it's very easy to basically step right back to the old ways. It's easy to turn to the alcohol that you want to stay away from. It's easy to go right back to gambling where you want to stay away from. It's easy to go smoking pot, or go looking for someone that you feel might be able to help get you out of that state of mind. And I'm talking about somebody that you should not be around. We as individuals have to be strong. We have to be consciously aware of what we're thinking all the time. That's where self-belief comes from. That's where discipline comes from. That's where being plugged into positive sources continually, that's where that comes from, because that's what gives you the strength to go from victory to victory, or from a failure to a victory. Because you and I are going to fall down. You and I are going to fail. You and I are going to fall flat on our faces. You and I are going to be tempted. Temptation, just because you're very successful, just because you're making a lot of money, just because you're a motivational speaker or you're a strong athlete, doesn't mean that temptation is just going to go away from you. You got to be prepared ahead of time. That's why you got to continually plant the seeds in your mind when times are good. That's why you got to talk to yourself on a most positive level when you're feeling great, because you can do that also when you're not feeling so great. You see, you're building up reserves. You're building up habits in your life. You are building stamina. You're exercising the muscles of your subconscious. You're reprogramming the paradigms in your mind to get you through those dark moments that are going to hit you. They're going to hit you. Dark moments are going to hit you, just like they hit me. We got to remind ourselves we're stronger than that. We got to remind ourselves that we are unique. We are original. We got to remind ourselves that we're going through something, but we're not going to let that thing affect us. We're not going to let it take us back. You see, the line has to be drawn in the cement. And you got to tell yourself every single day. You got to talk to yourself every single day. And you got to be reading the books. And you got to be watching the videos. And you got to be doing the affirmations. You must be doing those things that are necessary to get you through the dark times. Because once again, we're going to face the temptations. We're going to be experienced. We will experience somebody coming into our lives and putting pressure on us. It could be another individual. It could be an atmosphere, a place. It could be a certain frame of time, like the holidays. You know, a lot of people are going through some really difficult things right now. A lot of people are. In fact, they say, I was on Instagram earlier, and it's not just on Instagram, but I've noticed that during the holidays, during festive days, are the highest suicide rates. Because people don't have control. And once the mind takes over, once you give in to temptation, and it's a continuous thing, you know, the Bible says that we become a slave to sin. You become a slave to that thing that you give yourself over to. And I don't know about you, but I want to continually give myself over to a successful mindset. I want to continually give myself over to successful positive speech, self-control, ruling over my emotions. I'm going to let my emotions send a signal to me and let me know, hey, something's going on. And we should listen to our emotions, but we should not let our emotions rule over us in sending us into a place where we regret later on. I really felt inspired to put this video together, to share this speech, and I know it's probably going to be a little bit difficult for some people to see, but you can hear the message. And I truly hope that what I'm sharing in this message inspires you to pick yourself up. I hope that this message inspires you to think differently. Maybe you should watch this video a couple of times. You could watch some of my other videos. But whenever I feel inspired to share and create a video, that's exactly what I do. And this is we're in some very, very challenging times. 2017, I'm believing for greater things. I'm believing for a great future, but I realize that I know there's going to be some difficult times involved in my future, as well as everybody else's, as well as yours. And you better be preparing for your future. You better be preparing for those times that you're going to feel those triggers pop up. You better be preparing for those times that you're going to get around negative people and they'll try to bring you down in your own thought life. You know, it's amazing. You could be walking, you could be laying down, you could be in the midst of a party, and your own mind can deceive you into doing things that you'll regret later on. It's so important and it's so vital that we prepare ourselves now in doing all of the right things, in strengthening ourselves. You know, I work out just about every single day. I'm a little sore today, especially my abdominals, but I'm doing that because if it makes me feel good when I work out. It makes me feel strong. And I highly advocate, I highly encourage you to do the same thing, to motivate yourself and do physical exercise. But the more important physical exercise or spiritual exercise that we need to be doing is right up here in the mind, in the paradigm area. We need to be optimizing our paradigms area every single day when it's good, when the good times, so that we can basically blast right through the difficult times. Man, I'm speaking to somebody in this video, if not myself. I'm encouraged. I really am. Our mouths have the power of life and death. We need to learn to speak life into us continually instead of thinking death or speaking death like the average most of the people are doing, bringing themselves down. And then when they face difficulties, they don't know what to do with themselves. They turn to the beggarly elements. They turn to those things that can enslave them. They end up becoming a slave to those masters. Be strong, my friend. Take courage. Look at the blessings in your life. Plug into the proper sources that are going to help you be stronger in the days ahead. This is Santos Rolon Jr. once again here, my YouTube channel. This Christmas Day evening, December 25th, 2016. Share my video, like my video, subscribe to my channel, and comment below. And remember this always, to make your day a super fantastic, terrific, over-the-top day, daily, in spite of and because of. Peace. Happy New Year. I will see you at the top on my very next video.